In this video, we're going to take a look at my DIY rooftop tent hoist that makes loading and unloading your tent an easy one-person job and folds up to store conveniently out of the way when you're not using it. Hey guys, Luke here. So about a year ago, I bought this iKamper SkyCamp Mini rooftop tent for my Tacoma, and I've really enjoyed using it. It's been a great tent, but I knew from the moment I bought it, I didn't want to just leave it on the truck all the time, because I like to use my truck for other things. I have other rack systems I put on the bed to carry like kayaks and skis and all that stuff. So I wanted to find a quick and easy way to take this thing on and off by myself without having to like call a friend every time I wanted to do that. So that's where I arrived at this guy. Now this is not my original idea. I did find some other people on forums and YouTube who have made similar things to this in the past, but it seemed like the perfect solution for me, so decided to make my own. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a professional, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a welder or anything like that. So if you want to build something like this on your own, I strongly suggest you consult a professional to make sure you do it right, because modifying something like this can come with risks and some danger if not done correctly. So with that being said, let's take a look at how I built this one. Now essentially all this thing is a Harbor Freight 1-ton foldable shop crane that I then added some extensions to both the legs and the boom so that it could safely pick up my rooftop tent. To build the thing, I needed obviously the shop crane itself from Harbor Freight, so I went and picked that up. And then I headed over to a local metal supplier and I bought this square tubing to make the boom and leg extensions. So the legs are 2.5-inch square tubing and they're each 5 feet long. And then the boom is 2-inch square tubing. And for that, I needed 8 feet total. So this section here is 3 feet and this longer part is 5 feet. And they both are sized perfectly to slide right into the Harbor Freight shop crane. So this is the like stock shop crane boom that comes out of the thing. It fits in perfectly and we have it secured currently with a bolt. I want to get an actual pin for that in the future, but bolt works for now. And then same thing down here. These 2.5-inch square tubes slide perfectly into the Harbor Freight legs and again secured with a bolt. And I just used the factory wheels that came with this thing. I just put them onto my leg extensions rather than the stock legs. And that's really all there is to it. Now tool-wise to make this, obviously a welder is crucial, but otherwise you could probably get by with just a hacksaw and a drill as far as like cutting the pieces and whatnot. But fortunately I had access to my buddy's shop, so I headed over there and I used his electric chop saw to cut them, and we even used his plasma cutter, which I hadn't gotten to use one of those before, to cut out these little gusset pieces. I don't know that these were necessary, but he had some just spare material laying around, so decided to add them for a little bit extra strength. So after I got everything cut and welded, I just threw some gloss black paint on it all to keep it from rusting, and it was good to go. So now let's get into actually using this thing. Like I mentioned earlier, it stores out of the way really nicely because it all folds up, and it's a pretty quick and easy process to get it all set up. And originally I was planning to store the leg extensions like inside the original legs, but after I put the coat of paint on them, it's like a really tight squeeze to get them in there. And I didn't want them to get stuck down in there, and then I also didn't just want to scratch the heck out of my paint every time, so I just set those off to the side to make it easier. And like I mentioned earlier, my tent is the iKamper SkyCamp Mini. I think it's the 3.0 model, and I just keep it over here stored against the wall out of the way with the little cover it came with from iKamper on it. And if we take that off, you can see it is held against the wall with a little strap just to make sure it doesn't fall. Now the one other piece to the system that I hadn't mentioned, and it's kind of specific to my tent, is this little wooden frame that I built. It's just 2x4s and some screws and some eye bolts. And what this will do is go underneath the tent and its rack system and give me a convenient place to lift the tent from without like pressing in on the fiberglass sides. Okay, so we've got the engine crane into position and the tent is down off the wall and on its little frame. And to move it around or make that a little easier, I just put the frame on top of these moving dollies, and that lets me kind of roll it around and get it exactly where I need it to be. And here we are with the tent secured and lifted up, ready to be loaded onto the truck. And from here you can see how that little rack works a bit better. So I made it so that it goes just in between these clamps, and then it puts the eye bolts out here far enough that the straps are just barely touching the fiberglass shell, but not really. If you put them like down here or something, it would really be putting a lot of pressure on that shell, which I would rather not do just to be safe. And here too, you can see the rack system I'm using. So I have the iKamper, its mounts are onto these Yakima HD crossbars. And what's really cool about these is I have the little landing pads already positioned on the Diamondback cover in the right place. So all we'll have to do in a minute is drop the tent down onto the truck and then just clip all these guys and we're good to go. And the other really cool thing about that is I have some other Yakima racks up here that I use to like put my skis on and stuff like that, and they click into those same places on the Diamondback cover. So it makes that part just super quick and easy. All right, I'm gonna back the truck in here and let's get this tent put on. And just to show you, securing the Yakima rack is as easy as clipping it in. And then we'll lock it as well, just for extra security. And that is the tent on the truck. We'll just take the frame out and we are done. So there you have it, guys. This little hoist makes getting the tent on and off the truck a pretty easy process for just one person. And I'm super happy with how it's working out so far. If you like this video, there's a good chance you'll like that one too. So I'll see you over there.